Last one, best one, maybe.
Well, here's to hoping. Here's to praying.
All right. I feel like I should start this one special. Are we gonna put some special music behind this?
Final countdown. That was Almost in the Air Tonight by Phil Collins.
Oh, dude, had been
I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Hold on. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Hold on. Yeah, that song's a banger. All right, Malachi.
This week, for the final week, we're talking about Malachi.
Something that we found interesting about Malachi's name is that it means my messenger, an idea that's clearly displayed throughout the book more than once, and a phrase that's especially important at the end of the book. Malachi was written after the reconstruction of the temple, but probably not too long after, as a lot of the issues Malachi writes about are the same as found in Nehemiah chapter 13. The book of Malachi, the last book of the Old Testament, is a list of disputes between God and the newly repopulated city of Jerusalem.
There's 6 disputes that Malachi writes about, all of them formatted in such a way that God makes some sort of claim or accusation, and then Israel disagrees, and God responds to their disagreement with the last word. God begins his list of disputes by telling them that he has always loved them. A merciful and even fatherly way to begin a list such as this. The Israelites, however, respond in such a rude way, and they say, "How have you always loved us?" in verse 2. So God responds by reminding them of the promise he made with Jacob and how he chose Jacob over Esau to carry out his covenant promise. And as we know, Esau's people became known as Edom. And Edom, if you remember Obadiah, was destroyed for its wicked ways. The second disputation that God has is that the people do not fear or honor him. And the people ask, "How have we despised your name?" To which God rebukes them for the blemished sacrifices that they've been offering him. The people are bringing lame and sick animals to be offered, and the priests are allowing it, and they're perfectly fine with it. In fact, they're doing the same thing, and nobody is showing God respect or honor. The third disputation begins with God telling the Israelites that he doesn't accept the offerings that they have been giving. When Israel asks why, God gives his reasoning in both verses 10 through 12 and verses 14 through 16. He compares their relationship to a marriage, claiming that Israel has been unfaithful to the covenant. And if you read Ezra and Nehemiah with Haggai or Zechariah, then you'll remember from Nehemiah that they have been marrying foreign women and worshiping those foreign gods, cheating on the God that they're in a covenant with. And because of this, God could not look upon their offerings with favor. The 4th through 6th disputations are God exposing the Israelites for how they've been acting. The 4th one is God saying that he is tired of their words. And when the Israelites ask, "What did we say?" God exposes them for their lack of faith in his justice. Evil was running rampant, and many were questioning God's justice because of the lack of punishment. Because of this, God says he is going to send a messenger of the covenant who will prepare the people for God's return to the earth. And when God comes, he will act as a purifying fire, cleansing the nation of sexual immorality and injustice and idolatry, and only leaving the faithful remnant. The 5th disputation shows God telling the Israelites to return to him, and he will return to them. So then the Israelites ask, "How do we return to you?" Which should already tell you how far away the Israelites have gone from God. But he tells them to tithe. And if they tithe, then God will bless them abundantly with their crops and in other ways. And then in the 6th and final disputation, the Israelites are claiming that it is vain to serve God because they see evil people who are still prospering without him. Sandwiched in between this disputation, we have a stark contrast from the rest of the book. Before God tells of the judgment on the day of the Lord, he notices the people in Israel who are good and who have been faithful to him, saying that they will be spared when he comes to judge both the righteous and the wicked, and that they will be remembered. He goes on to write about the day of the Lord, saying that the evil ones will quote-unquote stumble, but those who are righteous will tread down the wicked and will rise up with him. The book ends with God saying that he will send the prophet Elijah before he comes to turn the hearts of that generation so that basically God doesn't have to destroy everyone because of their wickedness.
Malachi writes in chapter 3, verses 1 and 2, "Behold, I send my messenger, and he will prepare the way before me, and the Lord whom you seek will suddenly come to his temple, and the messenger of the covenant in whom you delight, behold, he is coming, says the Lord of hosts. But who can endure the day of his coming? And who can stand when he appears? For he is like a refiner's fire and like a fuller's soap."
In pretty much every book we've covered so far, there's been some themes of God's mercy and God's love and his justice. We've learned so much about God's relationship with man by reading of the Israelites' unfaithfulness and how God responds. And we can see all of this in Malachi. But we also see God's plan to send a messenger to confront evil and to bring his healing justice to those in need of him. Malachi portrays the human condition and how exactly sin separates us from God. But God gave them hope with the announcement of a messenger before his return to earth. And he gives us hope with the promise of a return. Just as the Israelites were supposed to be living faithfully in anticipation of this coming messenger, we are to be living our lives knowing that when God comes, we will be remembered as his faithful remnant.
That's all we have for Malachi this week, and that's all we have for the minor prophets as a whole. We hope you've enjoyed studying with us over the course of the summer. We've definitely appreciated all of the positive feedback that you've given us, and this has been super fun for us to do. We're very thankful for all of you that have watched and followed along, and we hope, above anything, that you've learned a lot about God and about the Israelites and about his relationship with them and his relationship with us.
Have fun studying Malachi this week.
Great job.
That's a wrap.